Today is the 30th of August and I'm 2 half books away from finishing my Aurelium TBR for the month, so I'm optimistic that I will get at least one of those finished and hopefully finish the whole readathon. As you probably don't remember, I picked 14 books, some of which have been switched out because that's the way I roll. And yeah, so I've recently decided to do a sort of project inbox over my TBRs, so I'm aiming to get to 0 in both my physical and my Goodreads TBR in 4 years time, which is a bit of a long term, but I have quite a lot of books on both physical and Goodreads TBRs. When I saw Becca from Becca in the Books was doing a Bookoplathon readathon, and it does have a name that I can't say, Bookoplathon? I don't know. Yeah, it says Bookoplathon. Becca's Bookoplathon. Yeah. I thought that sounded like it was really good. I thought that'd be brilliant. So a couple of notes. I do have some books on hold at the library, and they are Cemetery Boys, which is a YA about a Latinx boy whose family thinks he can't do stuff because the ghost will think he's too trans, which is I don't know. It's a trope. It's things people say, isn't it? You can't tell your grandparents, you'll kill him. Like, why would you say that to someone? It's a horrible thing to say. You know whether you want to tell your grandparents or not. You know your own grandparents. Anyway, so in this case the grandparents are dead, but they're dead, or great-grandparents, whatever. Anyway, that's what it's about. It's about a boy looking for identity and apparently finding found families, blah blah blah, acceptance, becoming more true to himself. I did see apparently it's got a bilingual bonus, so lots of untranslated Spanish, which I always like in a book, so I might squeeze that in. If I get favourite trope, I might choose that one. I don't know, I'm hoping, but I'm going to squeeze that in somewhere. And the other is The Shepherd's Life by James Rebank, which is, he's an expert in both farming and ecotourism, and he wrote a book about what it's like to be a shepherd in Yorkshire and what it's like confronting modern life in London from that perspective. And apparently it's really, really good, especially if you are, like me, a city person. So that will need squeezing in somewhere. And other than that, I've got a couple of books which I've pulled out for if I get those prompts, and I'm just going to show you the board now, okay? Okay, so here's the board. It's very usable, and as you can see, I've made some notes on it. I've got chance cards, have book titles on. These have prompts, and I'm just going to go for it. And you won't be able to see the writing because it's quite small, so I'm just going to read it out as we go. Oh, and I'm going to roll 8 times. And if I get a double, I'm going to repeat it. And there are a couple of other rules which I've now forgotten, so hopefully I won't fall foul of them. What are the rules? The rules. Use 2 6-sided dice, start on the go. If you can't find one, you can choose to roll again, but if you do that, you have to choose 2 books. If you roll a double, then you roll again and add an extra book. Okay, so I've got 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. A book with people. People on the cover. Ideally as a focal point. What's this one got? Tori Hayden's always good for. It's got 1 person. Okay, this one has people on the cover. This one has people on the cover. Well, I think I'm going to go for a slightly easier starter, and I'm going to go with Addison Cook and the Treasure of the Incas, which is a middle grade adventure story set in Mesoamerica. Do I want a yogurt? No, thank you, darling. Okay, so that was book 1. Roll 2. 1, 2, 3. A book with buildings on the covers. So I realised as I was editing this video that I had somehow missed a whole chunk between die roll 3 and die roll 7. So I think I'd said that die roll 3 was favourite trope, and I'd gone with Cemetery Boys. In fact, I'm not even sure I showed you the book from die roll 2. So I'm going to do that now, and if I did, then I can edit this bit out. Huh. Okay, so die roll 2 was a building, and I chose The Dragon's Promise, which just came out, and it is the second book in the Six Crimson Cranes trilogy. I don't know, it's new, but it's got a building in the middle, and it's just arrived here yesterday, I think, or possibly the day before. So I'm just going to tell you what the die roll was, what the prompt was, and what the book I've chosen was. So book 3 was favourite trope, and I've gone with untranslated foreign languages, and I've gone with Cemetery Boys by Aidan Thomas, which I mentioned earlier in the video. I've got it on hold at the library, and it should be with me today or tomorrow. I'm not really sure. It's saying very soon now, so won't be long. Okay, roll 4 was random letter. So then I went to random letter generator. It gave me an S, and I have to choose the first letter of the title of the book, or one of the author's names has to begin with an S. And I chose The Soul of an Octopus by Cy Montgomery, which is a non-fiction book about octopuses, as you can imagine. Okay, the next one was a first-person book, and I chose One Child by Tori Hayden. I picked this up in a book box. I read a lot of these books for a while ago. She is an educational psychologist or a special needs teacher or something like that. Hi, Andrew. And she writes about children who have terrible lives getting better. The next one was Community Shelf, which I wrote down as Community Chest because I'm used to Monopoly even though I never play it. And my Community Chest said prompt was ebook, and for that I put in Shepherd's Life, which is the other library book I've got on hold, and that should be in a fortnight. And of course, if I get that far down the list and I haven't got these books, I'll just slot in something else for both Trope and Soul of an Octopus. Then we get to the 7th roll, which is back into the video. So Granny just woke up there and needed some attention, and I'm back here with roll 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and more buildings. No, 8. Dice roll roulette. So dice roll roulette is where I roll the dice, and I have to come up with a book of that length. So each pip on the die would be 50 pages. So 8 would be 400 pages. Okay, so I've got 8, which is 400 pages, or a range of 375 to 424. So where is the closest to 400 pages? What about the enclaves? $395. Stardust Thief is $460 something. Violet Jane Thorns is $350-ish. Yeah, I'm going to go with the Enclaves, which I picked up in a book box and I don't know much about because except it's a murder mystery and I've read some of this author before. And I'm just writing down so I remember both what the prompt was and what the book is. 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Favourite trope again. Okay, you know what? I haven't had a double, and this was all of my last rolls. I'm going to roll again. 1, 2, 3, 4, and pick 4. 2 books. 2 books of The Great Brain Robbery. This is from J.D. Ray Reid's TBR Pursuit, which I'll link down below. And I actually don't have another middle grade sequel. Oh yes, I do. So The Revenge of Seven by Pittacus Law, which has been on my TBR for quite a long time now. We read the first several as they came out and then kind of dropped. To summarise, I've got 9 books on my TBR for the month. I've got 1, People on the Cover, Addison Cook and the Treasures of the Universe. 2, Building the Dragon Promise by Elizabeth Lim. 3, Favourite Trope, Cemetery Boys by Aidan Thomas. 4, Letter, The Soul of an Octopus by Simon Montgomery. 5, First Person, One Child by Tori Hayden. 6, ebook, Shepherd's Life by James Rebank. 7, Dice Roulette, The Sleeping and the Dead by Anne Cleves. 8, TBR Game, which I had to choose 2 books for, and I've got The Great Brain Robbery. It was sequel, middle grade. The Great Brain Robbery by P.G. Bell, and The Revenge of Seven by Pittacus Law. So that is a really nice mix of new books that have just come into my hands or are just about to come into my hands, and books which have been sitting on my shelf for really rather too long, and I would like to read them and pass them on. Are you doing this? What do you think? Let me know. Do you like this? Would you like to see more of it? I could just keep doing this until she runs again in September. I'll see how it goes. Bye!